Interesting. I think I need to update my frame a bit. You can see my autograph at all. It's in the corner, right there. That's my autograph. I don't know why I have one actually, but I just have it. So yeah. Okay. I still haven't checked the audio, dude. I don't know if it's too loud or too. Oh my god, too quiet. Wait, sorry. Hello. This is bad. Okay, well bad. I mean, this takes so long, mate. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. It's because I don't use STD actually for this game. Because I don't have enough storage in that. I only have HDD actually. I mean, I have STD, but not that much. Anyway, doesn't matter. But Beluga and Yao Yao. Okay. Why is Kujosara there? What? That's kind of weird. Let's go see her, I guess. What is this?
Indeed. Very well. I trust you will take. In that case, please advise me.
That's it?
A commendable picture. My thanks. I will treat. Thank you. To maintain.
What do I get? This motif for Cow Lantern though? That's so uncool. Uncool, I say, uncool. Thanks. Wait, I'm close to the end. That's never happened to me before, but oh my god. Yeah, I'm not getting there. That's kinda sad. I didn't play this game enough. And honestly, I haven't done this story. Will I do that though? I don't know. Wait, oh my god. I just need this. Just need to go like this. Oh, how? Okay, fine. Fine. Let's do that. Let's go to Kami. Let's see. Where is it? Down. Ahead. It's here. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh.
Whoa. Oh, hey, traveler. Yup. I'm gonna paint my.
Interesting.
Traveler. What a pleasant. Wonderful. Looks like I'll be. All right then, master photographer. love. I think I'll have it. And to you.
Okay. And then Lanyan, I can find her last time actually. So where is she? I don't know. Where is he though? What the fuck? Where the fuck is he? In the sky? What? Where is he? Where are you hiding her? What the fuck? Do you know where he is? No, you don't. Shut up, bitch. What? Ah, I see. I'm fucked. I'm actually fucked. By the way, is Leslie here? What do you mean Leslie is here? Kinda weird. Where is Leslie?
One with nature.
Leslie.
Traveler, had a feeling I might run it. Correct. Shall we, then? Sure. Do I need to strike a
Okay, that works. Wait a minute, let me do this. Okay, that's fine. Actually, I'm saving that. No reason.
Let's see. I'll be keeping this.
So
Really
that's
appreciate it.
really no
do you
reason. Can you disappear though?
Let's see. I'll be keeping this. Really appreciate that. Oh, and to you too.
I see. I thought you make them disappear, but no. So yeah.
Time to go.
Time to go. What the fuck? Why is...
How happy the Duke mentioned we might meet you here. We met a very kind lady at the... Oh, sure. Well then, as the professional photographer, what pose would you recommend?
There's an angle for this? Wait. So far? Wait a minute. Camera is weird. Oh, I don't want that. Done? Oh, okay. This is weird. Let's just set it. There's an angle for this? Actually, it's so good though, actually. It's kinda bad, but oh my god. Why is it so hard? Okay. I think like this maybe? I don't know. I'm not saving it, it's like...
All done? Oh, it really is. Bye!
Any other one? Yeah, let's go. Kind of far.
Time to go. Time to go.
Time to go. Is this faster or no? Probably not. Not gonna lie. Let's see, where is the... is here? Where's some fuck? Don't tell me. Fuck you. This one is turn to this to me. Okay.
Leo Westcott. No, wait. I need. Wow. I wrote down all their wishes in my notebook. Traveler? Oh, that's fantastic. Sure. Any advice?
Get this right. But the composition though. Up. Oh. Do I need to buy bundle? This is it. Like actually just remove that from. It's kinda good.
Done already? Oh, let me see. Whoa, told you they'd be good. Thanks.
Oh no.
Time to go.
Oh what? Dun. Oh my god, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm kinda fucked. Let's find the tree, I guess. Where? Down there? Yeah, I see.
Time to go.
Come on, jump. Party? Okay, that's kinda good.
Time to go.
Oh my god, where? No,
Time to go.
no. But okay, see one. How much button do I have? What is check it? I don't know. Here, maybe. Fuck you. Okay. I still cancel. Well, it's probably not, maybe. Probably not, but. Let's get what Gummy got for us. I think it's a gift now.
Time to go.
New year always brings new perspectives.
Gummy, where's yours? Let's go. Thanks, young Gummy. Did that spawn someone else? I don't see it. I don't think so. I need
Time to go.
3. Where's 3? Give me 3. Oh, shit. How much more I need though? I have now. What is this? I don't really need it. Let's go to the shop and get some Primogen. I mean, yeah.
Time to go.
Easy. Let's keep stopping. I have now. Nice. That's great. That's great. Oh my. I have 34? That's crazy. Where did I get that? Like, I haven't done any export. Is it the... Because I've done this, the event, I
Time
mean?
to go.
Probably, right? And I
Stand with
did
me.
solo. This was slow. Okay, what am I doing? Do I use this or tomorrow? Don't know. I don't think I'm done with this. Right, whatever. I haven't done the last two Archon quests, the last two parts of Archon quest, so for egg, ox, eggs, I don't know. How do you say that? I forgot. Ox,
Thank you for
ox, egg, ox.
Add
It's
Astra.
so bad. Let me search it up, actually. This is kind of funny. Egg, egg. Come on, where's Ock? Silly, silly, I said. Oh my god. Oh, egg. Fuck. Oh, egg. Fuck. That vowel is so weird. Wait, is it vowel or consonant? I got those mixed up all the time. Yeah, it's vowel. Og. Og. Egg. Og. Og. This is silly. So basically, I mean, you see it, right? Oh my god. Egg 5, I haven't done it. Egg 5. Egg. That's so weird. I don't think I nailed it. Nailed it at all.
The wind
I swear that English so hard. What do you mean? Yeah.
Time to go.
Before, you know what, I wanna talk about this, but before this I was interested in language part. I was interested in learning French again, actually. I just set up Lute, you know? Learning use, what is it? Learning use text, I
One with
think,
nature.
Lute. I'm silly. What? Are you about it? Are you about? What the fuck?
Fallen leaves.
Fuck,
Adorn
that's
my night.
the wrong button.
Time to go.
That's weird. But hey, I got my first follow, even though it may be bot, but I don't care. It's highly dude. My first follow is a bot, that's crazy. What is it? Probably, you know. It's an account created 7 minutes ago. I mean, why would... I mean, what? I mean, that's just weird. Maybe they're not bot, I don't know. I'm sorry if you're not, but... whatever. I mean... I'm just laughing because it's so funny. Where would it be? Where would a bot do that though? That is crazy.
Join the Adventurers Guild.
I mean, what is this? What? This is kind of weird.
Time to go.
What am I supposed to do again? I'm a bit distracted. Limited time. Yeah, you see that? I haven't done. That's kind of bad. I'm missing so much emoji, dude. The fuck am I doing? I don't care though. I have so much thought up, so I don't need it. I mean, I haven't explored much of here. On start, it's not 100% good. Changing file is easy. On dying too. I mean, Atlan, Sumeru, and Inazuma is done, but other than that, I have so much free emoji, dude. So I don't need it. Are you about it? I mean, I'm still thinking about it.
Time to go.
It's funny. It's just funny, okay? Me happy. I'm happy too. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wanna play LOL so bad, dude. It's kinda bad. But I promise I can, dude. I can. I just can. I'm addicted to it. It's bad for me, dude. Anyway. What am I doing? Why I feel so done with Genshin already, dude. Oh my god. What is there to do? Too much thing to do. Wait, let me see. Nothing. Oh my god. I'm tired. I mean, this is kind of bad if I stop right now.
Time to go.
But it's kind of weird.
New year always brings new perspectives.
So lively! This is how a festival should be.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
New year always brings new perspectives.
Oof. Come on. Shut up.
There are leaves around. And I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. Time to go.
Wait, I'm just stalling. What am I doing? Confused. What am I doing? I'm just thinking so hard right now. Oh, I'm kidding. That's kind of silly of me to say that. Thinking so hard? Are you kidding me, dude?
Time to go.
That's ridiculous.
I just like to make people
Play. Cool. Do I have friends, dude? I don't have friends. What the fuck? Fuck. No. Let's cancel. Fuck. I just want. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I have no friend, dude. The shit. And I can't even. Oh my god, this is kind of bad. What do you mean? Wait, let's play Honkai Star Rail for a bit. I wanna get Yokwang Lycon actually. I mean, I don't want it, but I kinda need it. No, I don't know. I need to wait for every
Follow
night.
the wind.
I mean, who's his name? Her name? Sedita, like Sedita. I need Sedita and
Time to go.
Sparksy actually.
Into the wind.
I can pull now, but I want to, but I can't. That's silly me.
Wind Strider.
Oh no! Oh no! That's it. I'm done. Bye bye.